Namaskar. The fur is flying fast. A lot of information coming out all at once about perhaps many NGOs, many penetrated organizations from this facade called deep state, whose face appears to be George Soros. I don't think that it is the one person, but I think it is a very intricate web. And we are going to share with you some of the influencer networks that he has put in place. But there is also a very big reveal, and that is something that is going to blow your breath away, because you can see the same set of people are going here, there, everywhere. I'll give you a simple example. NDTV, right? We know Prannoy James Roy. He never says his middle name. He is also the cousin of Suzanne Arundhati Roy, or Arundhati Suzanne Roy. Nobody knows about this. Prannoy Roy's wife and what's his name? The CPIM leader, Karath, Prakash Karath's wife, Brinda Karath, are sisters. In fact, Prakash Karath and Brinda Karath, for the longest time, lived where the Roys lived, in their house. See how this thing is so tightly webbed. A few people completely corrupt to the core. They were actually charting the destiny of India. And we were happily lapping up NDTV news. We thought that this guy was the best one since apple pie. Just giving you an example, and we are going to see many such revelations today. And I request all of you to please like this video, because we have put together this research after a lot of painstaking research, and we have a bunch of links for you to follow up also. If you have the time to go through that too. Here we go. I'm going to open this link here, and we'll start about how Soros has infiltrated several networks in India, academic, political, journalists, and so on and so forth. So we're going to take a look at some of the networks and who are the key players. And the person that is alluded to here, we will come to her in just a moment. Next. Multiple influence networks. Journalist network funds media organizations to shape public narratives. Activist network is support NGOs and advocacy groups for activism-driven agendas, like, for example, firecrackers, 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙪, or 𝗠ગુળમ, or any one of those things. And the interesting thing is, everybody seems to have got onto this bandwagon. It is not just America alone. You have Chinese interest groups doing the same thing, and I don't know if Russia is doing it or not. So it has become a free-for-all. From 40,000 NGOs, where do we stand today? How many NGOs are still there? The government should disclose this number, and it should also put out a white paper on the various ways in which frauds were committed on the Indian public. That will be useful, because at least you can be more careful in the future. Now, so I talked about journalist network, I talked about activist network, then you have the lawyer network. They back legal entities for policy influence through legal challenges. I don't have to tell you some of the names. You know it already. So that's the other one. Politician network. There are allegedly supported politicians who align with his ideological network. For example, AK-49 or a bunch of other people in and around him. Academicians network involves university professors and scholars advancing his global agenda through research and policy recommendations. This is the one that is the most potent, if you ask me. The reason is that he has created so many places. I'll just take a step back here. This is India we're talking about. Let me tell you how he has penetrated the American system. And much of this stuff appears to go back to the Democratic Party. Also, it goes back to the establishment such as the US aid, which in turn has parts of Democratic Party people as well as the Republican Party. So there is a healthy system that is in place here that is trying to make this US aid work for US's benefit. Unfortunately, India doesn't even have basic lobbying in the US. I've said this before many times, but let me tell you what Soros has done. See, there are two ways in which you can rise in politics. I think I've said this thing before. Let me say it again. You can rise in politics and going for the local city council, becoming a council member, then running for the mayor of the city, then running for the governor of the state, and so on. That's one path. The other path is taking the legal route. You become a public prosecutor, then you become a deputy attorney general, and then you become an attorney general of the state. Guess who took that path? Kamala Harris. Without ever having any administrative experience, she actually ran for president and, well, came close, I can say. So these two paths are the ways in which you can have your candidate do your bidding, because the attorney general post is a very important post, and Soros figured out that the judge will not convict someone if the case is not even accepted. See, what happens is the police will do all the work, and then they have to go to the legal department to get the okay so that they can have a court case. And for that, the Attorney General office is the one who decides on this. I told you there was an episode that I did where Kamala Harris, as the Attorney General, let off George Soros from going to jail. Thousands of mortgages, dubious. Remember that one? Anyway, so just go and type Soros or Kamala Harris in PGurus channel library, and you'll get that video. It'll tell you which bank it was, who was the CEO, how she helped, and then, of course, he helped her back to go all the way to run for the president of the country. So what Soros does is he almost always backs the attorney generals, because those races are less scrutinized than, for example, a governor's race. A gubernatorial race has many more people looking at it because he's a governor, he's a number one guy, chief administrator of the state. So he does this thing quietly, but interestingly, the person who's going to be succeeding Gavin Newsom is actually a hand-picked, cherry-picked Soros appointee, and that person is a lieutenant governor now, and God save California first. Let's see how that thing plays out. Now let's go to take a look at the academic networks. Soros' academic network allegedly targeted Adani, Modi. The name of one Indian member is yet to be revealed, so there is more suspense. So we'll wait for us to reveal that one also. Many people may not be aware that Soros founded the Central European University. How many of you know that he has actually got a university? It was founded in 1991. It was initially in Hungary. Now it has located to Austria after disputes with the Hungarian government. Actually, the Hungarian government has banned George Soros from ever visiting his country of birth. Can you believe that? I mean, this is like the ultimate insult. Anyway, so the CEU was founded in 1991 by hedge fund manager, political activist, and billionaire philanthropist George Soros, who provided it the $250 million endowment in 2001, making the university one of the wealthiest in Europe, especially on a per-student basis. The university is considered academically elite and prestigious. I mean, if you have that much money invested in it, you can get the best faculty. And with that comes the name, fame, and prestige. So he promotes, you know what he promotes? Open society principles, one world order, no borders, all that stuff, right? This is now become, if you become a part of that university, it will be telling it through education, through research, and policy advocacy. Now, in 2020, he didn't stop there. He went and opened another university called Open Society University Network, OSUN. Next one, please. And OSUN is a global network of universities and professors aimed at fostering international collaboration in education and research. So clearly, this man has a mission, and the one mission that he has is to destroy all countries, all borders. Everybody can go anywhere. Actually, this is a big problem because not all countries are on the same economic level. Some are poor, some are rich. Some are crowded, some are sparse. So there are lots of imbalances like that, and yet this man thinks that it can be possible or can be made possible for anyone to live anywhere. Hence, all these help to try and get people cross country after country after country with food, shelter, clothing, all sorts of stuff available. In fact, I am told for many of the illegals who have entered the United States, their baggage arrived by a separate route during the height of this illegal immigration into United States, and that there was a place that you were told you could go and pick up inside the US. You just had to have a backpack, because you go back and look at any video of this illegal caravan that took place over the last 3 years. Everybody is just wearing one backpack. Where is that stuff? Why? Because the terrain is such a hard terrain. So somebody must be enabling all these things. So if you catch hold of some of these people, you should be able to know where the network starts connecting the passenger with his baggage. This is something similar to what we see in the United States. When you travel in airplanes, right? So this is easy to crack, but I don't know how much of an appetite Trump has. Because it is easy to crack. Because I'm telling you, this is something that has been already written about. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, so what does Soros do? He funds professors of his choice to conduct research and develop academic programs. He organizes specialized courses and academic events under 𝗏𝗏's umbrella. See, once you brainwash students, they come out, they join the workforce, and some of them are quite loud. And the older people tend to, humor, oh, this is a bright chap, let him have a say. And soon he's causing a lot of damage to the character of the organization. Google is finding that out the hard way. And I'm sure many of the other companies are going to find it the hard way too. This is not something that's going to stop. Horribly radicalized, brainwashed, intelligent people not wanting to believe in reality. That's what the society is going to now. So how all this is happening thanks to this fellow. This is not one guy. Like I said, he's the face of that group. Critics argue that the funding serves Soros' broader ideological agenda by shaping global academic narratives and policy recommendations. Tell me one chief of state, like for example, a prime minister or a president who has condemned the attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh. Can you show me one? Except for India, of course, India is concerned. India better do that. Anybody else? Even Sri Lanka has not said anything. Shocking. And why are the Hindus in all these countries not demanding that their heads of state express their concerns and do something about this? In fact, I had a interview with Congressman 𝗤𝙗𝙗 I put out at around 6 a.m. today. I hope you guys have watched it. It will tell you a lot of stuff on what the congressman stands for and what are going to be the next few steps. So we will see how many of those things bear fruit. But at least I have done my part. I brought a congressman. I talked to him. I told him these are the problems that we have. In fact, I also highlighted the problem of how China is supplying Pakistan with state-of-the-art ammunition, bulletproof vest, piercing bullets and things like that. So anyway, we'll wait and see how that goes. So 𝗏𝗏's educational initiatives are seen by some as tools for advancing political and social ideologies aligned with Soros's open society principle. This is for some of you parents. When what happens is, let's say that 𝗏𝗏 doesn't have enough admissions, they'll make the entry fee shockingly cheap. Don't fall for it and send your child just because the fees appears to be very cheap. Be careful. Do your homework. If that's what your child wants, that's fine. But please do your homework. So one of the faculty members at George Soros' summer school is 𝗤𝗂𝗍 Banerjee. And I'm going to tell you about the big reveal. Professor of anthropology at the London School of Economics. Focuses on South Asian politics, democracy, and anthropology. Listed as a faculty member in George Soros' OSUN summer school program. See, that's where the connect starts. Professor of anthropology. This is the faculty members in London School, in Soros' summer school. So we have established the link. She's at LSE and she's also at Soros' summer schools. And you can see some other Indian sounding names here: Shalini Rendaria or Payal Arora and so on. Next one, please. So what is the truth about 𝗤𝗂𝗍? The London School of Economics was founded by the Marxist Fabian Society in 1895. George Soros himself graduated from the LSE, creating an academic connection through the shared institutional history. 𝗤𝗂𝗍 Banerjee is known for her research on Indian electoral politics and democracy. She has authored books and papers on social and political behavior in South Asia, making her an influential voice in academic and policy discussion. See, this is the danger. If somebody becomes a subject matter authority, then the books that person writes will be used like Bible in other schools where they are teaching something similar. We all have departments of sociology in just about every university that is known to mankind. So all these people lap it up. So somebody has to try and direct their curriculum in a certain direction. That's what I'm afraid these people try to do. So what is the big reveal? She, Mukulika Banerjee, is the sister-in-law of Yogendra Yadav, a well-known Indian politician and social activist. And look at this. George Soros is an eccentric billionaire with all kinds of strong opinions about the world, about philosophy, Yogendra Yadav. Some people say that his actual name is Salim and that he's actually a Muslim. I don't know where they get this proof. I mean, if any of you have the proof, do send it, and by way of comment, so all our viewers can know the truth about Mr. Yogendra Yadav. Mukulika Banerjee has been a vocal opponent of whatever Adani does. Since Soros declared his stance, see, Soros is shorting the stock, then waiting for the stock to fall, and then he's going and buying it up. This is typical Soros playbook. That's how he became a billionaire, by shorting the British pound, after which the then Prime Minister John Major had to resign. This is what he did to the Malaysian currency also. So what is the reason why she's frothing about him? Because she is essentially become the cat's paw for George Soros. And most of these things come from this one, and I'll come to that in just 1 second. So this stuff, she is frothing about Adani in a podcast on Spotify. Spotify is a podcast platform. That's where she has said it. Just 1 second. And she also promotes articles from reporters collectives. In fact, there was a big article from there about the case that is in the New York Eastern District Court, because they have claimed that the price per unit of electricity has been changing between 2.93 rupees to 2.54 rupees, and that there is something there where Adani, or I shouldn't say Adani, this is actually an SECI and the state electricity purchasers, something there that they were trying to lower the price to make it more attractive. All the stuff needs to be researched more. I just don't want to put faith in what has been found in the indictment at the New York Eastern District Court. There are more things, and I think Adani will have his day in court unless he decides to settle, pay the fine and settle. That's also possible. Mukulika Banerjee is very close to Rahul Gandhi. Look at that. And critical of the Modi government, similar to her Jija, Yogendra Yadav. Yogendra Yadav was the political mentor to Rahul Gandhi, because Yoya, as we all call him, Yoya was part of the National Advisory Council, of which Sonia Gandhi was a chairman or chairperson, and she was also that chairperson. That post came with cabinet rank. So you know what used to happen? Manmohan Singh would never take the final decision. Before the final decision, somebody from PMO office will take the file that is about to be decided by the Prime Minister, take it over to NAC, have the chairperson look at it, do all the tweaks and changes, then come back, and then that's when it used to happen. Although I've heard that there were many exceptions too. So this is an interesting cat and mouse game between Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi that took place. Mukulika Banerjee joined Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra also. So they don't even hide all these associations, just like the other lady that I was telling you about, Hindus for Human Rights. This was in a different video that I had said that HFHR just recently got a donation of, I think, grant of like $1.5 million. For doing what, I wonder. Anyway, we know what HFHR stands for. It's another Soros front. Mukulika Banerjee ran a campaign against Karan Kataria, a student who claimed discrimination at LSE. This is a story that I wanted to pursue. Somewhere it dropped through the cracks, because I know this happened. There's also one other female student who has been victimized in LSE, where the professors hit on her. You know what? Ugly stuff. London School of Economics has become a cesspool. Please, any of you entertaining thoughts of having your children join there, think twice, do your research, make sure whichever is the professor, whichever department that you are enrolling your ward into has good, impeccable credentials. Because once things go wrong there, you have to fend for yourself. You saw what happened in Oxford also. So who is Kataria? Kataria is from India. He made headlines in 2020 when he was alleged to have been subject to racist behavior by LSE students and that the institution failed to address his grievances appropriately. The controversy surrounding this campaign fueled debates over racial issues in universities, the credibility of individual claims of discrimination, and the response of institutions to such allegations. You know what happens, viewers? When your child goes to a campus, it doesn't matter where the child is born. It could be India, it could be US, it could be anywhere else. The children are going in with a certain background of having grown up. So when you go to the US or to any university, let's say foreign university, it's a melting pot. Everybody is in, everybody has different habits. You get thrown into that. Sometimes you feel like you are on the deep end of the pool and you don't know how to swim. So a lot of children tend to stick together to the people with similar backgrounds. There are 10 students who came from India, they all tend to stick together. I have done many campus, visits when I was checking them out for my children, and I used to see all these things happen. I mean, that is par for the course. So when we talk about racial issues, sometimes what happens is in the last 10-15 years, they have been deliberately singling out Indian American students or students of Indian or Hindu origin. Like, for example, the controversy over Holi, over Diwali, over Dussehra, anything you name it. Half-assed, half-baked illiterates are the ones who are carrying this fight. In fact, many of the time, they put a Hindu face in front. That Hindu face doesn't know Adam from Eve, just starts vomiting some stuff without any proof or backing. And this is where now we find our campuses in the United States. Mukulika Banerjee is known for her strong criticism of Hindutva in India, and she has been accused of spreading misinformation related to these topics. See, this is the other thing. Everybody becomes a self-styled expert on anything they want because they have the means to push their voice in a loud way. Again, this goes back to having the loudest, speaking in a loud voice doesn't make you right. Raising your voice doesn't make you right. A lot of the time we feel inherently when somebody is speaking loudly that maybe he or she has a point. Not true. This is one of the methods that is used to try and force somebody's opinion over a group. Watch out for that. Now, Mukulika Banerjee attended the Karachi Literature Festival held outside Pakistan for the first time in celebration of Pakistan's 70th birthday. The event took place in May 2017 in London at the South Bank Centre as part of the Alchemy Festival. It was organized in partnership with the usual suspects, Oxford University. This may be a subset or maybe something else. I don't know. Oxford University, Press Pakistan, the South Bank Centre, Rukhsana Ahmed, and Bloomsbury Publishing Pakistan. The KLF team included Nadir Cheema, Nigam Shahid, and Tariq Suleiman. They get off by putting a Hindu in there, and this Hindu is a Hindu in name only. And the less said, the better. Anyway, so here she is at the KLF Karachi Literature Festival, and I don't know who the other two BBBs are. But whatever it is, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to dignify this picture by, trying to identify. So what exactly is Soros' agenda in all this stuff? Anyone connected with Soros must adopt a anti-Adani or anti-Modi stance. This is clearly a shorting opportunity. But the unfortunate fact of the matter is India's stock markets are very shallow. And therefore, anything that comes in the news gets picked up and people are very trigger happy, so immediately they dump the price, even though the stock itself might be quite powerful. But because of the volatility in the market, people tend to lose their shirt. And so one suggestion that I have been saying this for a long time now, and I'll continue to say that, is don't play as a day trader. That doesn't make you money. Invest for the long term. And if you have that mindset, you will know when to enter into a market. You always keep a lot of money handy, because you never know when a particular stock will come at a price that you can afford. Like, for example, every time there is a story hit job on Adani's uh, companies, you might find a good steal there. I'm not saying that Adani stock is good. I'm just saying that if you have done your research and you have figured that Adani is a good company, or Adani something, AY, ABC, or it could be any other company, these hit jobs are going to be the norm, because they have spread themselves quite widely. I would not be surprised if many children of the bureaucratic system, the steel framework of India, are largest beneficiaries of some of the largest that has been provided by these institutions, and that would make them, being very supplicant. So his funding and influence may align with those who oppose. My 2 cents is that there may be something valid in what they are saying, because why I say that is that indictment reading is a little bit serious. It's not just off in the air. And it was presented in front of a grand jury, and the grand jury said that there was merit. Although, by the same breath, I have to tell you that the entire case on Trump also was, signed off by a grand jury. So what I can say is, US is becoming like another banana republic, guys. That's all I can say. And that's the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them now. Sanjay wants to know, Sree sir, vanakkam. Valid point on investing than day trader. Equity on long term gave me benefit. Do you have any suggestions? No, I will not suggest anything, Sanjay. There are some very good companies that have been actually given a sledgehammer blow, and my eternal regret is that the Modi government doesn't do much to the investors. They just want to take the goodness of a rising stock market, but they don't address the systemic concerns that are there. I'm not so sure that the finance ministers that have graced the NDA governments have enough intellectual gravitas to understand even the kind of problems that are there in the stock market. Very, very disappointed. Next one. Thank you, Sanjay, for your super sticker. Joshua Chime wants to know, hello sir, I have read your wonderful book NDTV Fraud. Did you hint at Soros' role? If not, then maybe you should write a book on Soros' role in destabilizing India and other countries. Joshua, I have finished 2 books that I have not released yet. You know why? I'm not so sure you guys are interested in reading books. Let me just show you how many books I have here. These are all my books. Who Painted My State Purple? C Company. Who Painted My Lust Red? Who Painted My Money White? Who Painted My Future Bright? I have all these books, and it takes a lot of money, and I don't seem to be able to sell them, even though a couple of them have turned out to be bestsellers. In fact, what I would do if I were you in this investing frame of mind, you have to read a lot. You have to read a lot about even one stock or one portfolio that you want to invest in, because doing entry at the right point will give you a lot of return, magnificent returns, in fact. So this is saying, right? Be greedy when everybody is fearful, and be fearful when everybody is greedy. This is the Warren Buffett statement. And see how he has made out. All he did all his life was invest. Read people's prospectuses, read the balance sheet, understand, make your own conclusion. What is a good stock? What is not a good stock? And then Can you hear me? Thank you, Joshua Chime. Can you hear me? Can someone confirm if you can hear me? Okay, all good. Thank you. Next question, please. Ami Dantwala wants to know, should each member of parliament be charged if they talk out of turn and talk of topics on any agenda? This will help recover public money that is wasted with noise and disruption during the winter session. You know, for the last 20-25 years, it has been like this. If the speaker is strict and he goes by the rule book and implements it, then you will see people getting thrown out for abusive behavior or not following the rules, quorum. And if you do it consistently over one session, they'll all straighten up. It has to be done though, because if you do that in one session and then you see that the ruling government is passing a lot of making a lot of laws in your absence, guess what? They will all tuck their tails and come back and follow the rules. Next one. Ramchandran wants to know, Namaskaram, is there a need to create counter effort by rightist campaign donors to bring down leftist influence in other countries? Absolutely, Ram. Absolutely. I've been crying hoarse that India doesn't have enough lobbying power at the political level in the United States or UK or some of the Western loudmouths, and also it doesn't start questioning. For example, only yesterday, I think Assam's Chief Minister Himanta also questioned whether this guy should have his peace prize pulled back, Muhammad Yunus, and we did that. Xavier Rodriguez has written a letter to the Nobel Peace Committee, and we had a program yesterday night with Xavier Rodriguez on that. That's how you put them on the defensive. You say your peace prize is not worth the paper I used to wipe you, and you get the point. That's how you do it. More power to you, bro. Next one. Kushanand Keshav wants to know, Sree sir, do you think Soros also had a role in Bangladesh regime change and atrocities on Hindus, as he has openly admitted he hates? And you know what? This bastard is hated by the Jewish community too. I mean, they hate him so much in Hungary, they banned him from ever entering again. It's okay. See, if you are worth billions of dollars, you can say whatever you want, have whatever hatreds you want. All I can say is this is an illiterate bunkum. You know what he did when he was with in the Second World War? You have to go back and read his history. He was a teenager and see how he sold his soul to the Nazis. That is the kind of person Soros is. Absolute scum of the earth. Why do you care whether he hates or likes Hindus? We are proud of being Hindus. Next one. Krishna Kishore. Can we know why audiobook of Sushant Singh death was stopped? Could you please resume it? No, I did not want to write it. I wrote the book Who Killed SSR, which is a fictional depiction of what happened. Unless you all start, putting a petition again and saying that we want to get to the bottom of it, write to Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. We want to know. This was a rising talent. He was a counter to the 3 short clowns called Khans. And he could have unseated them. He was actually getting ready to unseat them. And this is how, you instead of acting better, this is how they do it. I'm not saying that each one of them took a scalpel or something like that, but this whole ecosystem that supports the Khanri, these are the ones who have a lot of questions to answer. Maithili wants to know, can Trump do away with all this deep state completely? Well, no. Maithili ji, remember one thing. Even Trump, when he came to India, complained about the state of minorities in India and went back. In one speech, he said that. Look, once you become politicians and you take money from X lobby, Y lobby, Z lobby, you have to give something to them for the money that you took from them. For that, they'll make all these statements. What you need to look at is what is the thing that you are signing up for. At that point, make sure that you understand fully what you are getting yourself into. That's all I would say. Next. Dilip Chanchani wants to know, or Chanchani, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Can government tax heavily in his short selling gains? No, you cannot. In fact, there is, I think, no tax because this is all looked at as FII, foreign institutional investors, and if they come through Mauritius and then put the money in the stock market when there is no capital gains tax. I don't think so, unless they change the rule in the recent past. Next one. Manoj-san wants to know, since Trump has appointed Harmeet Dillon as a top US civil rights defender, will she now target India and or Hindu Americans? Will she prosecute attacks on Hindu temples in US or play caste game? Excellent question, Manoj-san. Her track record is of a Khalistani sympathizer. The Khalistanis are getting very smart. They seeded their politicians in both parties. In fact, one loudmouth of hers has made some very obnoxious statement that the SB 403 will now be introduced at the federal level. Good luck to you. In fact, these loudmouths, these idiots need to understand that when caste discrimination complaints were filed and looked at in UK, there were 32 caste discrimination files that were complaints that were filed. You know what? Out of those, 29 were Jats. 29 were Jat-6. You need to understand where you are getting yourself into, idiot. And if she does it too, we will oppose it. Full throttle. Next one, please. Joshua Cham wants to know, sir, did you know George Soros was highly influenced by Karl Popper's idea of open society, and Hungary he was a capo traitor? Yeah, I told you. I just told you, right? Yeah, I have read about that part. Next one, please. Rome Mide wants to know, sir, foreign money can still come in the guise of making Western interest groups Indian movie a big hit outside the country. Same with arts and books. Please do a show and write a book. My God, I'm doing a lot of shows these days, and that when I do all these hangouts, monologues, takes a lot of time to do the research, because we don't want to make a mistake and show somebody in poor light when the opposite is true. So we'll think about it. Next one, please. Nation First wants to know, why Bharatiya government not taking action against him directly? How will he take action? Everything he's doing is legal. Whatever is illegal, they have acted. For example, BBC, you couldn't ban them, but you could fine them for tax fraud. First, they made a lot of noise. They thought that noise will get them, make the government stop, but it stayed. So they accepted what they did. Same with many of the Chinese companies who don't want to pay taxes. The Oppos of the world. What is happening now? Some other company is now manufacturing in India, and they have surpassed the Chinese phone manufacturers. So government is pretty determined to make sure that people pay their right share of their taxes. It's not those days when NDTV was asked to go off air for 24 hours and the then Information and Broadcasting Minister, who went on to become the Vice President of India, could not enforce it. Next one. Sanjay wants to know, let it be Trump or Modi, once a politician, always a politician. Here. Very true. All right, that's all today, sir. There is plenty of demand for your books. Thank you, Joshua. Your words are sweet, and it's music and honey to my ears. Music to my ears and honey to my taste buds. Thank you so much. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.